for doing this interview with me, but more importantly, Season 3. Congratulations! I absolutely love this. First, you, sir, you know I'm going to go to you first, especially because, first off, you just gave me this shirt, which I think is amazing. I love it. And the other thing is, too, you got me a great interview on the red carpet at the Juno Awards with your superhero brother, too, so I was very much appreciative of that, man. How are you doing, and how does it feel, Season 3?
Oh, I'm doing great. It feels, I'm so happy that we were able to make this season, that we were to keep telling these stories, that we were able to keep working with each other, and then to work with Jenica and Elu. Like, honestly, like, every day is a gift. It's a dream come true. I'm so happy.
What is the magic between the two of you? Especially the two of you, but I mean, with all the cast and characters in this, what is the magic with this show to make it to Season 3, do you think?
I think we just have fun. We're like, how can we make each other laugh? How can we break each other? And that's kind of the crux of everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think the writing, though, has progressed over from first season to third season?
I think we've stayed with the same philosophy of having family-friendly stories that are, comedically turned. But one thing that I love about our show is that we have a lot of cultural specificity. So we get to dive into like the Vietnamese culture and the Indian culture and things like that, which I think is, very resonant for the audience, even if they're not of that background. Like it tells very universal stories in the specificity. So yeah, the writing is always fun because we get to play with these real characters having goofy times.
Real characters. That's just it, because when I watch the show, the thing I always think about is I feel like I'm watching out my window and going, do I really want to talk to my neighbors today? Because I don't know what craziness they're doing this time.
Was there a question?
That was the question. It's the writing really makes you feel like you're not watching TV. You're looking out your window going, what is my crazy neighbor doing this time?
I feel like we are all the crazy neighbor inside, and that's some of where the stories come from. But I mean, I love the fact that this is like a really relatable family. That the couple here, Andrew and Camille, have each other's backs. You know what I mean? They're each other's hype people. I love that. And I find the family stories very relatable too. Like for example, there's the episode this year with the fams realize they don't have a family doctor anymore, and I pitched that idea, and then that literally happened to me while I was writing that idea. I kind of lost my family doctor and had to go like audition for a new one. And I think there's just like it's a Canadian show in all senses of the word, and it's like it looks like a Canadian show. The people look Canadian, you know what I mean? And I think we're telling universal stories, and that's what we're proud of.
And by the way, I think I'm losing mine in the next 2 years, so I know what you're talking about. This is insane. But let's talk about Season 3. What's going on with Season 3? Where are we right now with the two of you and the neighborhood?
Well, we're trying to balance, full-time jobs and careers and businesses while also raising a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old. And so there's changes in the family. There's changes in our work. There's changes of us in our trying to rediscover our marriage. And then Raki, Camille's father, it moves into the house. So now we have 3 generations in the house. So there's constant changes. But it was a season focused very much on the family, and then finding stories that are relatable to these suburbs and everyone. So when you were mentioning the medical, I was like, well, my mind went to vasectomy right away. And I was like, oh, and so you're saying, it's like I had that very real moment at home, and I went to the room like, hear me out, here's my idea. And your words were, that's pretty good. And we went with it. Yeah. And so it's finding stories that relate to these characters and the audience that watches the show.
I said this from day one, and you remember this, me saying this. I said this from day one, and you have blossomed into it when I said that you were going to be that mother, the one that everybody looks to for strength, for being, saying it the way it is, Claire Huxtable kind of thing. How does it feel? Making that character, turning that character into that kind of person in this series, because you are the mother that everybody needs.
What can I say? I am incredible.
Yes!
And so is Camille, and I'm really glad that I get to represent badass women, because, my God, there's so many wonderful, strong women out there that I look to and I get empowered by and I bring into the character. And shout out to women everywhere. I see you. I love you.
And we love you too. What other craziness are we going to see in season 3?
Oh, there's so many wonderful things. We've got brown people going to a cottage for the first time, which is, personal life stories.
Okay, wait. Brown, black people, we don't go to cottages, okay?
Well, we do now. We experience that sweet, sweet privileged life. And we've got interesting, different format concept ideas too. So we've got one where it's kind of like a sliding doors motif. We've Halloween episode. We also featured the holiday of Holi, which is a Hindu festival of the colors and the powders and stuff like that. So that's tied in nicely with a story arc that we have this season. And yeah, we just have a lot of real down to earth moments too. For instance, Raki does a taekwondo class, gets back to her dojang, and Andrew is taking nude live drawing classes and stuff like that. So we've got a bunch of kooky things all in the quest to spend time with their kids. But yeah, we've got a lot of fun set pieces this season, which I think will thrill the audience.
And what about the kids? Because of course they're very important. How are they progressing in this series in the writing?
Well, I would say it's a really interesting time because Kia, who's 17 now, is really on the cusp of adulthood. And so we actually tell some stories that are about that, that are really sort of her finding her way and what she's going to be like as an adult. But she also has sort of a new love interest this season. So that was sort of exciting to take her to that place. And with Leo, he's just a teenager now. So he is full on into sort of defining himself in a new way, in a more grown-up way, and standing up for himself. And one of the biggest challenges he has this season is actually having to stand up to his dad, who he wants to spend time to and loves so much and respects, but he's going to actually have to push back against Andrew's wishes sometimes. So, yeah, we think we're taken to some really fun new places.
I'm just curious, is there ever going to be an episode where she gets caught with the boyfriend somewhere they're not supposed to be together and the parents catch them? Because that's a suburban thing.
That could happen, but it would be her girlfriend.
Oh, yes, that's right. What am I saying now?
There is actually a fun twist on that. We don't actually do full-on getting caught, but we do a kind of, is she sneaking around or not? And I won't spoil what happens there, but there is a little bit of secrecy when it comes to the new love interest.
Okay, we'll leave it to that as we wrap this up. Sir, I got to ask you something, and it's always about wrestling. CM Punk coming back. What do you think about all this?
I was really happy when he arrived at Survivor Series. I was less impressed on Monday Night Raw when we realized it might be a watered-down version of CM Punk. Yeah. So I love CM Punk unfiltered, pipe bomb style. So mixed feelings. That's a very thoughtful answer for wrestling. I love wrestling. But yeah, so I'm happy he's back. I want to see the long play. I do want to add the cottage.
Yeah.
So, we're saying, brown people, black people, Asian people, we don't go to cottages. The first day of production, season 3, was at the cottage. Was the hottest day of the year in Ontario.
Yeah.
It was rolling through 40. We were dying. And I remember...
They wouldn't let us swim in the water. I'm like, let me enjoy this cottage. You brought us all out here, and then I can't even go to the water?
Yeah. It almost broke us. If we weren't in a third season, if this was day 1, season 1, it would have broke us. But we knew, okay, this is the hottest day. But we were at the cottage. We lived that life. But I'm just like, yeah, I get why we don't come out here. I get it. There's all these bugs. It's so hot. It's okay, I'm good in my cities. Yeah.
Same here, too. Folks, look, I got to say, cannot wait for season 3. This is going to be amazing. When I do watch the cottage episode, I'm really going to be crying. So I got to make sure I'm not eating or drinking at the same time. Folks, thank you again. And like I said, congratulations on season 3.
Thank you so much.